All right, guys, welcome to today's Local Yokels podcast. I appreciate y'all joining us. And first and foremost, let me kind of thank my primary sponsor, RoofWorks Roofing Company. You can reach those guys over there at 662-303-0345 or at roofworksmidsouth.com. And you can reach Josh or Randy or Kay, any of those guys. I want to make sure I thank them properly every time because they do so much for me in the program and everything I'm involved with. So again, thank you guys. And so we are touching base always on something local that's in the community. Some of it's got to do with charity work, nonprofits, businesses. And I just ran up on this guy, my guest today, that is kind of unique in my ideas of things, but I love it because I grew up in an area where rodeoing was really big and cowboying was really big, even though I'm not either, but I was a good spectator. But I want to introduce y'all today to Mr. Ryan Burl. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah,
glad to be here.
Glad to have you. And Miss Cheyenne Brown.
It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. You got to speak up a little bit, girl. This ain't the cowboy arena. You got to talk loud. So anyway, guys, naturally, I want to thank both of you for coming in today. I know y'all have a busy schedule. Literally came out of the farm or ranch or whatever y'all got going here to come over and do the show with me. We talked briefly a few days ago because I know a family member of yours, Miss Cheyenne, and you can explain a little bit how they're related to you. Are they aunt, uncles?
It's my aunt and uncle, David and Jesse.
David and Jesse Tyre. That's right. Good friends of mine and amazing people. He's actually been on the show reluctantly, by the way. So, yeah. But anyway, and Ryan, turns out you and I have a connection between my daughter-in-law.
Yep.
Yeah. And you guys were both band majors at Northwest Community College at one time back in your careers. Not that you're very old, by the way. I want to make clear to the audience, I thought he was like 40 with the story he gave me when I talked to him the first time. But obviously, you have that connection there. So small world. I didn't know either one of you up until like last week. The names popped up and I was like, I got to get them on my show because I love what y'all are doing. Your content you're producing on TikTok and it's so natural and it's your lifestyles. Like this is really what y'all do every day. There's no fake phony stuff going on. So I can tell y'all, they got their stuff on. They come from work. So, and pulled up with a horse trailer, mind you. Yeah. So anyway, guys, tell me a little bit about hashtag. What was it again?
Half top. Hashtag
half top horse trailer. That's right. Yeah. Convertible.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a convertible. But anyway, guys, I want to first start off with you, Ryan, and we talk about your path to, kind of you're from the area. You kind of tell people a little bit about yourself, where you're from, how you got to the area, whatever you want to do, just explain from there, and we'll get right into the next phase of your long, illustrious career at 21 years old.
All right. Well, like he said, I'm not that old. I'm 21 years old. Ryan Burl from Senatobia, Mississippi. Cowboy.
Burl.
Yeah, Burl. B-U-R-L.
That's right.
But yeah, I cowboy. I am a pickup man. I help manage a ranch there in Senatobia. I've worked a couple other places, Louisiana, Texas, Oklahoma. And I went to school in Senatobia, Mississippi, and there wasn't much of that going on. But I was just always a little bit different.
At that time, rodeo wasn't a thing there. That's a very new thing.
And it's still not in that school.
That's right. So. I know our Mr. Loomis, the big cowboy, Will. He's a Bulldog. Well, steer wrestler, Bulldogger, as we call it. World champion, by the way. He's not like a local guy. This guy is a world champion right now. He kind of helped get that thing fired up and moving, if I do believe. So it's kind of like
So Northwest has had a rodeo team for a little bit, the college there in Senatobia, and it was under another coaching staff. And then Will, he came back. He's actually from the Byhalia area.
Yeah.
And so he came back and he decided to coach, I believe, 2 years ago.
Yeah, and it's exploded like the interest. And that's kind of what I like, is because I think it's such a family-oriented, it's kind of a forgotten thing for a lot of people. They don't realize this used to be a really big area for rodeoing and cowboying and, having, lots of stables everywhere. And now they're just kind of like just in little pockets all over, But you didn't do much rodeo in there. You actually were in the band.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. Actually, I was in the Northwest band, and I played trumpet, but I never took it out of the case because I've been the drum major since my 8th grade year of high school for each band that I was in, and then I got to Northwest and decided to continue doing that, and so I did that for a year while studying ranching and farm operations. So.
You took over for my daughter-in-law, Hannah Glover / Colley now. So shout out to Hannah. She was the band major there the year before you were.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And she had high praises about you. So
I appreciate it.
Yeah. She's a sweet girl. So I'm glad to have her part of my family. But so you went on from there, and I guess after you graduated high school or college at this point in time, you chose a career in ranching, I suppose. You get with a local rancher, he needs a hand, right?
Yep. So I was kind of already buddies with this guy helping out back pens at rodeos, which for those of you that doesn't know, when the horses and the bulls specifically, and then like the roping steers, once they get through performing in the arena and they go out of the outgate, they're not just going out to a pasture. They go to a place we call the back pens.
Sure.
And so that's where they get all their, I guess, their gear de-rigged. So like the saddle broncs, that's where we take their saddles off and make sure they get food and water. The bulls, just
right. I was going to say that's where you take care of them after they
the
go out and do their performance. Yeah, they go out and do their exercise. Which let me tell you, probably some pretty exciting times for them just to get out and do some.
Yeah, 100%. If they don't love it, they won't do it. We
That's
actually have some when we're working on them and training them, to do their job. If they don't want to do it, some just don't do
Stubborn.
it. So we call that a coal, and then they don't have to. If they don't want to, we don't force them to. So, we enjoy what we do. We want them to enjoy it.
Sure, and you take good care of them. I want people to know that. I think sometimes in the background of the rodeo, you're not sure because it's such a rough and rowdy 8 seconds or whatever it is, and it's like in and out, and there's all these horses trying to force them back in, So, but when they get back down there, they settle down, they get fed, they get watered, everything
they know
like
where they
that.
are. They're back with their buddies and they're hanging out, But like I was saying, where all that started, it was with Justin Dickerson with Buckwild Bucking Stock.
Okay.
So he has bulls in Senatobia, Mississippi, and I knew somebody that knew him.
Yeah.
And they kind of put us together, and so I started feeding for him primarily.
And what were you, 12 here? Because you're
animals.
21. You done talked about 10 years worth of work. This is a little bit of time.
I think I was 14 or 15 when I met Justin, and I think I was right at 15, 16 when I started working for him.
Sure.
And I did that up until I was about, 18.
Yeah.
And then I started managing the ranch that I'm at now. And so I've been there since then, and I was working for them for a while. And now I kind of do my own thing.
Sure.
They have a barn there that wasn't being used.
What's the ranch you're on now?
It's Wooten Cattle Company.
Wooten Cattle Company.
Yeah.
Shout out to Wooten Cattle Company.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so they had a barn that really wasn't being used, and they let me start training horses out of it. And really, it was just going to be for a couple buddies, things that they couldn't handle with their horses. But then we started taking videos, and after I started posting videos on Facebook and things like that, I was getting more attention for it. And then people were asking, hey, how much would you charge me to take my horse? And then I didn't know. So I'm on Google looking up, what do people charge to take outside horses for 30 days?
You just been doing it for love.
Right.
Yeah, just the fun of it. Yeah.
And so then I started figuring out, and I actually have, I've got waivers and things like that are signed. It's actually a business now.
Sure.
And so
at the ripe old age of 21. I just love the fact that you have this story. I'm telling you, what did I tell you on the phone when we first talked? I'm like, how old are you, Ryan? And I thought he said 31 at first.
Right.
I really did. And I was like, all right, sounds good. And he just kept talking, and we kept getting more in depth about everywhere he's been. I'm like, all right, now, I'm pretty sure he said 31, but I need to ask him again. He said, no, I'm 21, sir. And I said, whoa. I was like, man, you have been around the block already. I was like,
it's been a pretty quick 6
you were riding bucking broncs
sure.
and everything, right? Like you went through this whole, but you're like, I don't do that no more. It's hard on my body. I'm like, hey, I definitely thought he was 31 or 41 at this point in time. So, yeah, but anyway, man, carry on. I think probably what the interesting part of me is like you are living this life. This is not like when y'all do post it on TikTok and Facebook. I mean, you guys are actually out there doing this for a living, both of you. Yeah. And you too, by the way. I know you're with him right every day. So, and I know y'all both enjoy this life. You live it, you breathe it. It's just what you love, and you got a long career ahead of you, for sure.
I plan on it.
But obviously, working the ranch, you're managing it for them. That's pretty big for your age. I'm not going to even lie to you. How long you been doing that now?
Shoot. Let's see. I guess about 3 years now.
So just right.
I've been there for 5 or 6 years, but I've been managing it for 3 years.
Yeah, right. So since you're 18.
Right.
They got a lot of trust and faith in you.
We are the only 2 cowboys on the place. Actually, if something's out and needs caught, we're the only 2 that
How big is the ranch?
And rope and stuff like that. It is just under 600 acres.
Okay. That's a pretty good size acre. That's
especially for Mississippi.
So, yeah. Well,
a lot of big ranches.
That's one thing you get out. Like I told you, I spent 15 years in Wyoming. That's nothing out there, obviously. But, we're in Texas or somewhere. You get into the whole 30,000+ acre ranches, a lot of that stuff. And, but here, 600 acres of grass is a big deal. You know, you can do a lot of head of cattle and everything on 600 acres of grass.
Right.
So your day to day is obviously working the cattle. Mm-hmm. And then trying to keep them maintained and taken care of. And you can talk about that a little bit about your day to day. And then when you find time to actually, I guess, in the middle of all this, you're trying to find time to, as you would call it, colt starting, training horses to sell to potential owners, and also training their existing horses they bring to you to kind of get them, I guess, where they want them to be.
Right.
Yeah. For whatever reason, like where if it's whatever, a nice rider or a working horse or something of that nature.
Right.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I guess since no 2 days are ever the same, I'll just pick one and roll with it. So we'll talk about like the day of spring works, the first day, because that's coming up pretty soon. It'll be May 24th for us. And so that day kind of looks like wake up, 4:30, 5 o'clock. Wash up, eat breakfast, and then we go feed the horses. Sometimes we even feed the horses before we feed ourselves. And so they're usually done eating and all that, and we like to be saddled by about 6:37. Yeah. And we ride out, we gather the herd, us, the horses, the dogs. Usually we'll bring in a couple hands on that day that aren't there every day, but just to help, kind of get the day moving.
Sure.
And so once we get the cattle up to the catch pens and everything where we work and the head chute, all of that, we usually like to have that all settled, gates closed, ready to start work by 8 o'clock. So then we have different crews. We have us, who are on horses, moving the cattle, keeping them flowing. We have a grounds crew. Those are the guys where if we bring a calf by or whatever, they're the ones flanking, which not flanking like bucking bulls, but picking them up and, laying them down where we can work on them. Yeah. And then they do all the tagging, vaccinating that in that area. And then like the bigger cows and stuff, they go through a head chute. And so then we have our head chute crew.
How many head of cattle y'all got out there now?
It would be...
At the highest. Like, during calving season, I'm guessing it's probably the biggest.
Yeah, I would say right over 300 is the highest because with
that's pretty good. That's a lot.
With that, we try not to have too many. It would be great if numbers could stay around 150, but like right now we've got, I think I hadn't counted in like 2 or 3 days, so I'm slacking, but I'm going to say right at 100 calves right now.
Wow.
So, and we've still got
a lot of work.
We still got some that hadn't hatched yet.
Well, hatched, as you call it. Yeah. So they're due anytime. Yeah. They're always kind of out there. Yeah. Now, let's pin over to Miss Cheyenne for a second. He's talking about stuff like, I would have been exhausted by 4:45. Like you say, he gets up at 4:40. I'd have been like, I got to go back to bed. So do you get up with him at this time, Cheyenne? And you guys do this together, and y'all are like a team working together, and what's your job when you're rolling that whole amount of chaos in the mornings? Don't say cooking.
No. I mean, I do get our breakfast together usually. It's nothing fancy, just some biscuits and sausage, but...
That sounds delicious, by the way.
But while he's...
It would be a bag of Cheetos.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. If you had to depend on Ryan, you'd be getting...
Yeah, he just eat chips or go without. But no, it usually is like, usually we'll get up and I'll cook or we'll get some breakfast together, and then usually we just get dressed and head out from the house.
So did you start, like, were you from this type of, I mean, it sounds like he grew up in it, right?
Yeah.
So
I didn't.
Now, y'all been dating a while, I'm guessing. A year or two, something like that, maybe?
Almost 2 years. We'll be together.
Let him say the date. What's the date?
October 22nd, 2023.
All right, man. All right, buddy. I appreciate that. You saved yourself there. So anyway, I say you basically had no idea about this life. Never been around it. Probably a little bit of a city girl. Like just
No, I was never a city girl. I was always a country girl, but I was always like hunting, fishing.
So you're a little bit
mud riding, but I never.
But not horses and that life. That's a whole different thing. You're a country boy, but you ain't a country boy and a cowboy. That's two different things. Yeah, it's two different things.
I mean, I grew up and had neighbors across the street. They had cows and horses and stuff like that, and I go over there and pet the horses, the ones that I could get my hands on. But I didn't ride. I didn't grow up riding, and I didn't grow up ranching or cowboying. Whenever I met Ryan, I was like, oh, this will be fun.
Yeah.
This will be great. I get to ride a horse.
Work.
That's what it is. It's a lot of work.
So did you find yourself falling in love with it? Like it's just a passion.
It is.
From everybody I grew up with out west that did this every day.
It has to be a passion.
Man, you gotta love it, live it. I mean, breathe it. Because I mean,
absolutely.
Cattle are like worse than dogs taking care of them. Like they get sick.
My gosh. They don't compare.
If it ain't in you, it's not for you. If you don't love it, then
so you see this the rest of your life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do.
It's probably one of the hardest things I think I've ever done in my life, but it's the most rewarding thing that I've ever done.
Right. You just feel like job well done. You saved that calf. You saved that mom, whatever it is.
Not too long ago, we had a calf that was breached, which just means it got stuck in the. It was turned the wrong way, and I think they tried for 45 minutes.
Yeah, it was a while.
It was about, we had to get her up to the catch to the chute, and then it took about 45 minutes of them trying to pull her out of this cow, and finally, whenever it come out. Well, you automatically assume like it's been in there for 45 minutes, and it's gone, and it wasn't. It took its first breath, and I just
wow, that's amazing.
All I could think was, oh my gosh, that's awesome. This is why we do it. Yeah. And then its first steps getting up, it started walking. I was like, this is why we do it.
That's right.
And then the first time it nursed on its mama, it was like, all right, this is exactly why we do it, and it's pretty amazing. It's beautiful is what it is.
Yes. So
it's gross, but it's beautiful.
Yeah, I would say I don't like it. I don't want to be out there with it. Yeah, I don't want to deal with that, the afterbirth. And, no, I ain't feeling it. So I've seen it happen. I've seen a breech birth before. One of my friends. So of course, I had a bunch of friends that had ranches out west, and I've seen a breech birth. I have seen that, and it's not for the weak. Mm-mm. It really isn't. It's a struggle. But however, like I said, it's very rewarding when you know that you saved that calf's life.
Right.
It's going to be a part of the herd now, and it's, and keeping it healthy until it comes to whatever you do with it at some point in time. Do y'all do any rodeo stocking anywhere at your place, or is it basically beef cattle?
No, not at the place. At the place, it's just beef cattle, but that buddy that kind of started me with raising cattle and stuff like that, I actually owned my first cow with him, Justin, Buck Wild Bucking Stock. He's right down the road and across the road, so that's just bucking bulls on that side. So we've got beef cattle and calves on this side of the road, and then across the road from there, you've got all the bucking bulls and rodeo stock.
Yeah.
So, and there's actually a couple.
Y'all travel. You was telling me y'all travel all over the place with that stuff.
Yeah, we were in Texas. Was the last weekend or weekend before last?
Weekend before last.
At Athens, Texas, at a big private cow sale they had out there.
So and then like you go to the rodeos, and you said earlier you used to do a little bit of bucking bronc, and is it because you just couldn't handle it no more? Because I'm telling you, we talk about bulls, we talk about all kinds of stuff, but the saddle bronking, I always thought those were the wildest guys.
Well,
like I really did. I know bulls are tough guys.
Yeah,
I get it. But man, when you see that guy, it's like a car. Like, I mean, the jerking
for sure.
I mean, I'm saying like I don't know how you're not the chiropractor every time you get off the thing.
Well, funny story. I was supposed to be. And, Dr. Chip said that I was to be in 3 times a week, and so I'd schedule my appointments. Living this lifestyle. Each time I was in there, I'd schedule the next one. Well, one of my appointments happened to be on the day after Thanksgiving, and they were closed that Thursday and Friday. So that Friday I didn't go in. I didn't schedule another appointment, and unfortunately I haven't been back.
Oh, my God. So, you're probably a wreck right now at 21. Looks like you've been in 50 car accidents or something.
Most definitely.
Because, I mean, they do, man. I just see you got to be... I know it's all of it's rough. Like, I'm not even saying the wild horse race. You ever seen one of them things? Now that is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen people almost die doing that stuff, get kicked right in the chest or other places that, you're just like, man, why would you want it that? You know what I mean? It's, I don't know. You got to be in it to explain it. That's what, I mean,
and it's hard to explain.
It really much so.
The easiest way to explain it, I've heard it explained this way before, and it's not easy. It's not fun, but it's worth it. And that makes no sense, but all the sense in the world.
But you love it. So do you expect to go back to the bronc riding at some point in time?
I don't. And it actually started out as a dare, sitting on my buddy's couch. He was like, hey, they're going to have ranch broncs down here. I bet you won't enter. And I was like, well, I already start colts. I was like, what's the harm? He was like, well, I'll pay your entry fees. And so then we did.
Yeah, then you got to go do it.
Yeah, and that's where I got on my first
Then you got to be in it. Yeah, right.
And so then I liked it, and I rode a few more after that. And then I ended up, I don't remember how I ended up picking up for the first time, but when I started picking up, I was like, it's a lot less hard on my body to be on this side of it. I'm still right here next to the bucking horses, which I love, and I'm getting on colts at the house that are bucking anyway.
And you're at the rodeo, you get to see every ride up close.
Right,
That's
and so
cool.
My mindset at 21 was, instead of gambling my money, just throwing in an entry fee where I may or may not win, I can pick up, still be right here next to the action, get paid for sure.
That's right.
And then I'm still getting on things that buck at the house, so I'm not missing out on any of the fun.
Yeah, you're living all of the lifestyle. So do you ever ride any wild ones?
Haven't yet.
You haven't been on no colts?
No. Not yet.
You're still learning?
Still learning.
You're going to let her on?
We all are.
Yeah, I think if you ever stop,
if you ever stop learning, then you're not growing.
You'll be in trouble.
So.
Get stomped on or something.
Yeah.
Have you had one wild, like buck out on you though, like you wasn't expecting?
I've had a few of them buck with me, but not much. I think the main one that bucks with me sometimes is my mare. She gets excited sometimes, and it's not anything like harmful. She just wants to. She's still very young. She's still just a baby, and so she sometimes gets fresh, just gets cold outside, and it gets excited and wants to just have fun.
Yeah,
that's all
teenager or something. Yeah, I don't know how that works.
So she hadn't even been broke a year yet. We got her February of last year, and of course I started her and broke her because that's what I do. Mm-hmm. And I think I started letting Cheyenne on her about April or May.
Yeah.
And so it's just now been about a year since she's been riding her.
Yeah.
And then my main horse had an accident in December, and she was right there with him. So they both kind of got banged up and were on stall rest for a couple of months. So, of course, she's young. She's fresh when you get back on her, and they just do sometimes.
Well, let's parlay. We talked a lot about what y'all do for a living and where you live and all that stuff. Now let's talk about the exciting things beyond the ranch that you do. You probably still do it at the ranch, but you got a couple little gigs y'all do. You want to talk about those?
Well, I don't have very much time to do anything other than that. So I guess it still, pertains to that life. But, but catching the wild cattle and stuff, that's pretty exciting. So we'll get a call.
Oh, yeah, you're like a rescue operator for wild cattle. Yeah.
So some of the sheriff's departments around here have my cell phone number. It's all on Facebook. It's on TikTok a little bit.
Yeah.
There's just... you never know when it's going to be or what it's going to be.
Yeah.
So, one of the most recent ones was last Saturday. We had planned to do a cowboy and ranch clinic, teaching people how to read cattle on their horse, where to be, where not to be kind of thing. Right. And then the guy that was going to give that clinic had an injury the night before the clinic. So then we kind of course, canceled it, called it off. We're just going to reschedule. And glad we did, because that next morning I got a call. Actually, I got two calls at the same time. One, there were two donkeys that were out somewhere in Senatobia.
Right.
So
I seen that on Facebook, actually.
Yeah, we still haven't been able to go to. We plan on as soon as the guy calls back. And then the other, there was a cow that got out in Grenada. So we hopped in the truck, went down to Grenada. Cheyenne couldn't go with me on that, but I had some other help. Mm-hmm. And we went down there and we searched for this cow actually on a military base called Camp McCain.
Okay.
Down there, it's like 8,000 acres. We're looking for this one cow. And the dogs,
probably
tractor,
like peeking at y'all through the bushes.
100%. We were out there for hours and hours. The dogs kept leading us to fresh tracks. And she's a black cow. Sun went down, got dark.
Oh, man.
We had to kind of call it off for that day. So the guys who own her are going to just be looking for her over the next couple of days. And whenever they see her, this time they will not try to catch her themselves on buggies, because that's what kind of put us behind.
Stresses her.
Us coming from up here and them already.
Yeah, because you use horses to do yours. Yeah. And we talked about that a little bit. Like the reason why you love the horse side of it is because it's not as overwhelming for the livestock. They kind of, it's another... person, if you will, and another mammal, I suppose, but it's not like a revved up engine. They're gunning it and screaming, and I'm guessing
it's just more natural.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I get that. Now, I wasn't even talking about the wild cattle stuff. I forgot about that, to be honest with you. But you do hat shaping.
Oh yeah.
And that's kind of like a side gig, right? Like people send you their hats.
So that started on TikTok, actually. I had a lot of questions about my hat shape because there's not very many out there like this.
Sure.
It's been called, awesome. It's been called unique. It's been called goofy. And some even say they don't know why I would put that on my head, but it's not their head. It's mine, and I like it.
I like it all right. It kind of looks like it's turned backwards maybe a little bit.
And people, we get that a lot, all the time. That's actually a going thing on TikTok. People just comment on most cowboy stuff and say, hey, your hat's on backwards. And it usually never is.
You know what your TikTok needs to be called instead of that Rancher Ryan?
What should it be?
Bass backwards. That's what it should be. Yeah, I'm just joking. Don't do that, because I know you're a Christian feller. I'm sorry. You don't need to be doing that.
No, it's no big deal. It's no big deal.
But it should be back asswards. That should be what it is. So. But look, it fits you. I think it looks great. Yeah.
I appreciate it.
And you got your style a little bit like that too, young lady.
A little
bit. You might have let him get a hold of your hat then.
He shapes all my hats.
Yeah. All right. So that's what we was talking about. So it started with TikTok. People started saying, shoot, man, did you do that yourself? And so it comes up with
they did. And so I told them I did. And they were like, well, hey, could you shape mine? How much would you charge to shape mine? And I was, I just threw a price out there. It's like, $10 a shape and $20 a clean and shape, And so then people started mailing their hats to the house.
So you're getting hats all the time. Yep. Like now it's like a full-blown thing.
I think I've got like 20 in the house right now, and 4 are ours.
Yeah.
And so the other 16 are going, somewhere else.
But. And I guess they could be they don't have to be summer hats. They can be all kinds of
right.
hats.
Yeah, no, they've got felts and straws.
Sure,
so, yeah,
sure. And, of course, depending on the X on that thing, you got to be extra special careful on them, on them felt hats. I mean, that ain't no joke now because, I mean, I've seen some hats get up into thousands of dollars.
Yeah, there's one right now sitting in a glass case at the hat store up in South Haven, and it's like $1,600 or something like that.
Yeah. Not your run-of-the-mill hat. Yeah. So probably like a 20 beaver or something. I don't know what they call them, but there is I used to know that stuff a little bit back in the day when I lived out there. But
that's another thing too. That's funny you bring up the price of those hats because like now there's a little bit that goes on, and people are like, if you're not a cowboy, don't walk around saying you're a cowboy. Don't dress like a cowboy. This, that, and the other. We don't usually care how you dress.
Sure.
If you like it, we love it.
It's a style,
but. It is kind of a slap in the face. We work for it. We bleed for it. We cry over it, and then somebody who's not done any work going and saying that that's what they are. But what I was talking about with the price is everybody liking this now, especially with Yellowstone coming out and things like that.
Man. Everybody wants to be ripped.
People wearing cowboy hats.
Everybody.
People wearing cowboy hats and doing all of that. It just makes the stuff that we have to have
even more expensive.
A lot of times you're just trying to break even. So we're not getting rich off this. And
well, y'all weren't around for the Garth Brooks days. Dude, that guy lit up the cowboy world. There was already George Strait, which my mom always said that was my daddy. She dreamed. I guess it was her hopeful, wishful thinking, right? Yeah. She loved him. But however, so, that was a big thing, especially out west. You had your so-called cowboys, the dress became a thing, especially through the 90s, with country music. There was a lot of big hat acts, they called them, So it changed, especially with Garth. He was enormous, man. I don't think there's been an artist since then like that. Like in any genre of music that just popped off like that. He was so big, but it caused this craze of, he had this certain style of shirt he wore, and it was really like out there, like flames on him and stuff. Right. And his hat kind of had a unique look. But yeah, I mean, people who weren't cowboys were cowboys, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I get what you're saying. It caused the industry just to blow up. But, most of the time, all you were getting was Wrangler products, at that point in time. And then it becomes something else altogether, so I get that a little bit. Obviously, the shows, that you're talking about, I have a problem. I couldn't be ripped. For one, I'm not handsome, and two, I'm like 2 foot taller than that guy. I'm literally 2 foot taller, so I couldn't be a rip. But I think everybody was dreaming to be. I see a lot of rips try wannabes are walking around. You're right about that. Even here. Oh yeah, even here.
Most definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. So I get that. But now y'all have so with the hats, like, is it become kind of a business for you, like you would say, like because it's something?
I guess you could. It's not. It's kind of just included in the R2 brand. So like the R2 isn't just the cattle.
Right. So let's say that is your brand, by the way, with your company. It's R2 brand.
Right. R2 Cattle Company and Cold Start is what it's called, but it's more to it than that. Like kids that want to be involved that don't have the opportunity, we try to kind of bring them along, let them see.
Well, that's part of why I asked you on the show. Everything I do on the show is kind of like you got to be giving back to the community somehow. Right. You got to be involved in helping. You got to be giving your time or money or something. You got to be focused on it. And one of the things I was intrigued about you, because I'm like, I got to have it. I got to know what you do. Like, what do you do? And he's like, well, I do a lot of free clinics, like teach people how to ride and get kids comfortable with on my own time, just trying to showcase this is a great, lifestyle. If you're interested, it's also a quick path to bankruptcy if you buy a horse. I can tell you that. But if you're not prepared for it, but at the same time, I think that was something I felt like, I've talked to, and I need to get you in contact with these ladies because they, I think the therapeutic riding.
Is that in Hernando?
Yeah.
Panther Creek.
Yeah. And
we were there a few weekends ago. Yeah. JB, who is one of the cattle managers for Panther Creek, they asked us to help with their calf vaccine. So we were there doing that. We were actually good friends with he and Sloan and Noah.
Sure. And then I don't know them, but I'd like to. The premise behind young kids, obviously it's therapeutic for them. It teaches them not to have fear, and things of that nature, and getting them calm because obviously horses are the best teachers of being calm. You don't want to get too excited around them. They'll show out.
Do you know Mariah?
I don't. No, okay. I don't. I don't know any of those folks. But with some of the programs I've talked to, one of the things like in drug and alcohol recovery, some of the stuff they got going on, I can't explain it all, but they use horse therapy for the ladies a lot of times because it gives them something to focus on, help them take care of them. They ride them, they complete a bond, it's trust, all this stuff that somehow ties back to it. I don't know, but it's pretty cool. Maybe it's something you might get involved with at some point in time. Right. Y'all can bring up some horses or something one day to kind of feel with. I'll connect y'all at some point in time. But however, I was intrigued by the fact that you spend your time, and it takes a lot of effort. Man, I'm not going to lie to you. I was watching you load. I don't know how many horses you was putting on the convertible out there, but it was pretty full. Yep. And I thought, hey, he's probably overloaded. DOT don't be watching. But anyway, that's just the lifestyle, right? So you gotta get them up. You take them to these places. It's a lot of work to get there and devote your time. So you gotta really want to do that. By the way, I want to invite y'all to my program that I'm involved with this year. It's in October, if you're available, to bring out a couple of horses, and we do just exactly that thing. You know, we will allow people to get familiar with them and teach them, and it's just a 100% giveaway. The ones I was telling you about, where we feed my lambs, is the name of the program, and we feed about 150 kids every weekend during the school year, food security program. So, and we just need more people involved, bring attention. And when you told me that, I was like, man, that is something I can get behind. So, cause I know y'all are dedicating your times to do this. So I guess you go with him. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Are you better with the kids, or is he better?
We're both pretty decent with them.
Yeah.
The kids love him though. They're like, Ryan.
You're a little bit of a star over there.
Everybody loves Ryan.
Well, you have no fear, right? Like you're just taking the horses and
pretty much.
Yeah, that's probably, I understand that.
That's like the story yesterday. We got a new horse. I guess it was Saturday. I was roping while we were at the roping pen. One of the guys was like, hey, what would you charge me to take this horse for a week? Sure. I just got her. She's wild. I can't do anything with her. And she was pretty calm Saturday when I was messing with her. And then yesterday we messed with her for a little bit. And she decided to stand on her two back legs like a human and run at me on those two back legs while pawing with her front one. So it's just things like that. You just step out of the way, and then
you got to have confidence and a calmness about you to let them know, like, that ain't going to work with me.
Yeah, if you're calm, they'll be calm. If you get all amped up, they will never settle down.
Well, it's funny you say that. You know, Jessica and David, they got a new horse, right? Yeah. And the guy originally bought it was our buddy Cody.
Right.
He's a big, tough guy, right? So he's scared to death of his horse. Like you know, that's the thing. He said his thing took off. He told the story on our episode. It just took off across the pastureway, and he was screaming for life, you know. And then Jessica can literally just get on him bareback and just walk him around, because I said she's calm with him, and and her kids. So it's all about the emotion you were having. You were probably tensed up, worried what he was going to do to you.
And a lot of times people do tense up when they're scared or nervous. They tense up and they squeeze their legs, and that's how you get the horses to go.
Right. That's how they respond.
Squeezing your legs.
So I think that's the same way with dogs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's all behavior both ways, you know, and, so you might be a little bit of a horse whisperer there. That's maybe what we need to call you, Ryan.
Your animals and the animals that are around you are usually a reflection of your character.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So I would just say, shoot out real quick on your TikToks. Let's talk about that, how y'all are actually people can get in touch with you, watch your content. I know you're both focused primarily on TikTok, a little bit of Facebook, but go ahead, Ryan. Tell them where your contacts are on that stuff.
So my TikTok is that Rancher Ryan, and if it doesn't pull up from there, it's going to be RyanBU310. That's RyanBU310.
Yeah, Burl, Burl, not Burrow.
And on Facebook, it will be Ryan Burl. It'll actually be spelled all the way out, RyanBURL.
And you kind of share the same content back and forth. The videos.
Yeah. It's I usually post on TikTok, and then it automatically saves to your phone when you do it on there. So then I just cross share it. And but my messages, my private messages, my DMs on both of those are open. So.
And you do a lot with the church community as well. I know, so a lot of people will catch that. You're doing some of that. So if you see that on TikTok, you're like, I know he's 21. Same thing. That's going to be the same question everybody has. I'm going to be like, just like me.
And it always is. You aren't the first one. I know everywhere I go.
I'm like, well, first of all, your presence, you look older at 21. Not that that's a bad thing. I
was about to say, I don't know if I should take that.
You shouldn't take that bad. It's just you have a mature way about you and the way you talk and
I appreciate
carry yourself. So certainly. And Miss Cheyenne, I'm going to say, how old are you?
I'm 22.
You got your older lady now or something. I'm just teasing.
That's funny because I told him when we first met and I found out his age, I was like, ooh.
No, I can't date a younger guy, man. Yeah. She's probably about ready to be 23. And you just turned 21 probably. No,
well, actually, I'll be 22 in August and she'll be 23 in July.
Oh, okay. What day's your birthday?
July 12th.
Oh, yeah. My daughter's 10th. So it's good. Yeah, I think she'll be 23. Yep, same thing. Yep. Now, if you want to mention your TikTok and your Facebook.
My TikTok is Cheyenne Grace 0712.
Speak up a little bit.
Cheyenne Grace 0712.
Okay.
And my name on Facebook is Grace Brown.
Grace Brown, not Cheyenne, but
It's
just
not
Grace
Cheyenne.
Brown. I gotcha. Yeah, you confused me with all that stuff you
I
got
know.
going on. You need to go in there and get them all the same. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just telling you right now. So, but you guys have some great content on there, and I notice it's shared y'all together 100% of the time. I mean, I don't see any separation. Like, I mean, matter of fact, when I talked to Ryan, I didn't even know about Cheyenne, and we were talking about. I was like, well, man, I'd love to have you on if you want to go. He goes, yeah. Can my fiance come on? And I'm like, well, yeah. I said, I didn't know you had one, but if you wanted to come on, yeah. So
Well, see what I was wanting,
Yeah.
wanting her on for, because, you know, you were talking about how interesting it was with, you know, me doing it for however, but I mean, there's guys all the time that's been doing it for years.
Oh, yeah.
She's already going everywhere with me and doing what we're doing, and she's learning the rope now in the pasture, and she's only been doing this for, you know, a year. So I just think that.
And I made a mistake by saying cowgirl. She is a cowboy because she clarified that. There is a difference.
Garth Brooks or somebody that has a song that says that girl is a cowboy.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I wouldn't. I mean, I listened to it back then. It's not a carry
We'll
on.
have to fact check later.
We'll have to fact check that later. But however, I want to make sure all of you guys check out their socials, give them some support and love. If you got a hat you want shaped, and get in touch with Ryan or Cheyenne here, and they'll get it. Some information of where you can send it in and get the special shaping. There's a skill to that. That's not. You know, I told you before, you can buy the hat shapers on TikTok probably or something. You know, I'm sure there's some kind of a steam machine or something.
Yeah.
But it's like tattoos. I can get a tattoo gun.
But I'm not going to give nobody no tattoos.
But I don't need to be giving nobody no tattoo.
Right.
You know, hats are very, you know, I mean, it's like an artwork, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So, yeah.
And I mean, there's so many little things that you miss that you wouldn't even know goes into it while shaping one, like the way you may pinch one.
Sure.
And like I use a countertop for a lot of my brims, and there's somebody who actually messaged me, and she was like, I've never seen that done before.
Yeah.
You know, that's how your corners are always so this
Tight
and other.
and squared, So you need something with the edge for sure. Now, I noticed you got a little something written on both sides of your hat.
I don't know which side's which, but one's just the brand.
That's on this side.
That's going to be the R2.
Yeah.
The R2 Cattle Company and Colt Starting. And the other side, I don't know which verse I have in this hat. I have a verse in each one of them. Is this the Psalms hat?
Yeah.
So that's going to be, you know, talking about fear no evil and all that stuff.
Sure.
They'll all walk through the valley.
Yeah, because you have a lot of
shadow
faith. You were telling me that, like, you now go to C4 Cowboy Church down in
Cortland,
Mississippi. And I've heard about that.
Right.
And I know that there's a growing population of folks down there, so they probably needed something like that in their area. And you find it a big part of your life. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I know you work with those guys a lot too outside with the church, so you're giving back that way as well. So, do y'all do events down there?
Well, C4 is just getting started, so we're doing some here and there. We actually have our revival this week.
Yeah.
It's Sunday, yesterday, and today. And but we try to do a little bit. We did a fall fest last year, and we brought horses to it and got the community involved and stuff like that. So Cowboy Church, when you hear that, you don't have to be a cowboy to come to Cowboy Church.
Right. This is the name of it.
Right. It's just to kind of, I guess, remind people that it's different. Because, you know, a lot of people, they've been to church in the regular Southern Baptist, and, you know, they walk in and they see the pews and they're like, you know, just a wave of, I've been judged here. You know, just all of that stuff. So Cowboy Church, it's like come as you are. Don't have to be suit and tie. Don't have to dress like a cowboy. You can come in your short pants and your shirt. If you,
I would go if like this. I mean, I'm not changing. I'm just going this way.
Absolutely,
you can go in just like you are right now. So you just wake up.
As long as you're there hearing the word. And then a lot of people say, well, you know, you don't have to go to church to be saved. No, you don't. But you don't technically have to have a key to start a truck either.
That's true.
You know, just being around people who
like-minded people. It's fellowship. I think the people use the word fellowship a lot, and I think that's important, especially like-minded folks that live in the community around there, you know. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. Now, do you go with him? You love the C4 Cowboy Church too?
Yes, sir, I do.
Yeah. Because, you know, you got to ask. Sometimes people just start in the same place.
We go together.
Yeah. So you love the life. You love the church. Mm-hmm. You love Ryan. That's all that matters.
Pretty much.
That's what matters, Ryan? Yeah. So can I ask you a quick question?
Yes, sir.
How do we get the stash to point so hard? I mean, you got it tight, man. Yeah, you got it tight. Oh, you got a wax. You got
I don't know what
a
that's
beeswax probably or something.
I can't read that cursive writing. Can you? Looks like it says fisticuffs.
Oh, okay.
Or something. It's a mustache wax is what it is.
Yeah.
Shout out to them.
Shout out to them. Yeah, maybe you can get them on your TikTok as a sponsor.
Yeah.
That'd be good. That's what you need to start doing next. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think I found that on Amazon.
Oh, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah.
There again, she's looking out for you.
I'd run out of what I had, and it was the only thing I ever had. I don't know what the name of it was either. The label had faded off the top.
Sure. You just know you need something.
Yep.
Yeah, you need something that you can twist it.
A lot of people actually just use a glue stick, though.
Do they?
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know if that'd be hard to wash out maybe.
I think they use the kids like the orange.
Man, I don't know.
Blue,
Don't get me
something.
lying. I literally this is what I look like. I got a thing, I shave it down.
Yep.
That's about it, man. It's like a guard on it. I don't really try to dress it up too much. I'm not going to no barbershop to get it edged up or none of that.
I haven't been to a barbershop since I was 15.
Yeah. That was a long time ago for you, by the way. I keep playing on your age because I just forget how old you are.
Absolutely.
So, anything else y'all want to talk about that you're involved in? Like before we go, I want to talk about anything that maybe interests you, or you're looking forward to doing, or you're getting ready to make plans to do.
Well, we're looking forward to traveling a little bit, just going to some different places, some different outfits, branding and stuff like that.
So you're going to travel to other ranches to help.
Yeah. We've already been to a couple, but like you said, we're young, so we are trying to figure out where our forever is going to be, stuff like that. Just Mississippi and really this side of the river in general for ranches, it's not huge.
No.
And that's not to say you can't start one.
Sure.
But, if you go some places and see how other things are done in other places, it can just,
you can bring it home.
Experience
you can bring it home.
Yeah.
Like you can see how they're doing things a little bit different.
Absolutely.
Or you can show them something that they didn't know.
Right.
So I get all that. And it's a different way of life out, like in Texas and Oklahoma. Like the ranches are bigger. Mm-hmm. Here it's a lot of thick woods. Mm-hmm. It's probably harder to find them. I'm not going to lie to you.
That's what some of us go back and forth with our Texas friends about. Like over there, you've got an acre to run and rope. Here, you got like 2 swings in your back.
Oh, you got to be on it. Yeah. Because that dude will be in the tree line before.
Right. 100%.
Yeah. There's that.
And the cattle here know it.
Yeah, they know it. That's I just got to get to the trees. I'm all right. So that's cool, man. Now, Cheyenne, are you going to be trying to do all the traveling with him? I mean, is this your full-time job? Is this what you do every day?
Yes, this is what we do. Yeah.
I didn't know if maybe you had something else you did. I know he does it full-time, but I wasn't sure about you.
I had a night shift job, but so I work nights.
Kind of just help move things along a little bit. Yeah. Till you can get kind of where both of you can do it full-time. Because I'm sure that...
Got to get some insurance from somewhere.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. That's smart. Yeah. That's smart.
So, I have a job on the side that I do. And so whenever I'm not there at night or sleeping during the day for it, I'm helping him. Yeah.
Your parents love this for you?
Oh, yeah.
Do they?
Oh, yeah.
Have they been down to the ranch and visited and all that stuff?
I don't think they have. I know
my mom.
I know her dad's. Yeah. Your mom has, and I know her dad has been over to the Bucking Bull side because, a funny story, that's how we met. I've known her dad for about 7 years. He's a bull rider.
Cool.
And I was friends with one of her sisters.
Give her dad a shout out.
Shout out to Cliff.
Cliff what? Brown?
Cliff Smith.
Cliff Smith. Okay, I got you. So he was a bull rider in the area at one time.
He, so I was friends with one of her sisters, Jordan, in high school, and she was living with her mom at the time, so I didn't know her at all.
Sure.
Didn't even ask, didn't know Jordan had another sister or whatever. It was just, we were friends from 7:30 to 4:30, and then if one of us needed something.
Right.
And 4:30, no, high school got out at 3:30.
3:30.
Right?
Yeah.
Whatever time. But anyway, and then I met Cliff, of course, and, he'd need something, need help, and Jordan, if you know her, she's not going to go do all the things that Cliff wants to do, so I'd go with him and do some stuff. Well, I got invited to a Halloween gathering at their house where, we were just going to eat, do something small, and she was there, and we were talking halfway through the night, and then the next day, I was getting up to leave, and her room was upstairs.
Yeah.
I crunked my truck, and I saw her head pop up through the curtain in the window, and she ran downstairs. She was like, "Where are you going?" And I was like, "To church." She was like, "You were up all night with us, and you're going to church this morning?" And actually, she had asked the night before. I think Jordan said something about me taking her to see the cows or something. You tell the story better than I do.
My sister, she had told me about her friend Ryan, her cowboy friend Ryan. Yeah. She showed me that she had gone to go see a calf, the bottle calf that they had at the barn at the time. Yeah. And so I was petting his dog that night, and I was like, "Is this your dog?" And he was like, "Yeah, that's my dog." And I was like, "Well, what's her name?" He was like, "Well, everybody calls her Noah, but I call her dog." I was like, "Well, from now on, she's Nova." And I was like, "Well, I have a bone to pick with you." And he was like, "For what?" He had no idea who I was, and I was like, "You wouldn't take JoJo to see cows, and not me." I was like, when do I get to go see the baby cows?
Yeah.
And he was like, well, we can go tomorrow. And I was like, all right.
So you were looking, you seen him, you're like, that's my man. I'm like, yeah. She was,
Pretty much.
She put her target on you.
Pretty much.
Yeah, for sure. So that's a good story. When y'all getting married?
We plan on October 4th. That's the first weekend in October this year.
Okay.
But we were on the way to go look at the wedding venue and my brakes went out. So we've got to reschedule.
Oh, my goodness.
If that date's still available.
Brakes on the convertible, maybe? Or on the truck? Oh, Lordy, that's even worse. Like, at least you had enough sense to get it back home. So I would have probably just kept driving. I am going to lie to you.
David actually helped us that day.
Did he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man. Thank God for David.
Yeah, we were right up here in the area. So.
Yeah, he's him and Cody both have saved me a bunch of times. I'm not going to lie to you. So, but, well, man, look, you want to sing us a little tune? I know you brought your guitar with you today.
Let's see.
I know you said you've been to the dentist, had a little Novocaine. So,
yep.
Yeah.
So if I sound a little off, you guys, the left side of my mouth is still a little bit numb.
Yeah. So, you said you do this just out of your free time. You enjoy it. And I'll let you just kind of, whenever you're ready, name the song and tell us about it or whatever you want to do.
So this song's called Met the Devil in Oklahoma by Josh Mallory.
Okay.
I think that's how you say that. If not, somebody.
But that's Ryan Burl. It's by Ryan Burl today.
Met the devil in Oklahoma. He had eyes black as the night. He said he came from North Dakota, wanna take me on a ride. I asked him why he came to visit me. He said that's just what he does. I met the devil in Oklahoma, and he knew who I was. I've been sitting on a riverbank praying in Jesus' name to come and save my soul. I know time was never on my side. I've been waiting for forever now, hoping that he comes around and pulls me out of this hole. 'Cause I've run out of places to hide. Met the devil in Oklahoma, he shot from the light. He said, I just wanna get to know you, couldn't see through his disguise. Took a step in the wrong direction, he got his hold on me. I met the devil in Oklahoma, it's a tough time getting free. I've been sitting on a riverbank praying in Jesus' name to come and save my soul. I know time was never on my side. I've been waiting for forever now, hoping that he comes around and pulls me out of this hole. 'Cause I've run out of places to hide. Will I make it out alive? Have my feet done crossed the line? Lord, won't you tell me? Will I make it out alive? Have my feet done crossed the line? Lord, won't you tell me? I've been sitting on a riverbank praying in Jesus' name to come and save my soul. I know time was never on my side. I've been waiting for forever now, hoping that he comes around and pulls me out of this hole. 'Cause I run out of places to hide. Yeah, I run out of places to hide.
Awesome, man. That's great.
I appreciate it.
Cheyenne over there, starry-eyed. She's like, that's my man. No, you did great, man.
I appreciate it.
Love the playing. Great voice. So, yeah, it takes a lot of guts to get on, and play like that, But you said you do that around locally here, too. Mm-hmm. Like you do it at Hernando Square and stuff like that.
Yeah,
here in Hernando.
Shout out to Mason and Carly. That's the first wedding I ever played at.
Cool.
Shout out to those guys.
You got to be writing a special song for Cheyenne for your wedding?
I write some here and there, but I never actually write them down. Yeah, so I usually forget them.
Sure.
But she's got a couple voice recordings.
Yeah, that's right. There you go. You got to learn to put those to paper, man. You know, so you can remember them.
There's one that she likes. I can play it.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let me grab it real quick.
Which one is that?
I was waiting for you to pop in with some harmonies, man. Like, you guys not practicing all that at home? Like, none of that?
He's a little more outgoing with that than I am.
I can tell. You're just a backup supporting your man. I got it. It's okay.
So this one's spaced out a little bit on the page. I'll have to scroll some for the lyrics,
that's fine. You just play a few courses. You ain't got to play the whole thing. Just whatever you want to do. Yeah.
Life with a cowboy, it's dirt on your floors from long days of working, so you ain't ever poor. And it ain't always easy, and you go day by day, but you won't be wishing for it any other way. 'Cause it's always coffee in the morning, 3 maybe 4, and then he's out your door. Cinches his coat in the yard, ran into my car, then he's gone like the wind. It's a hell of a life, and I don't say that lie, and the joy in his eyes, oh what a prize. Life with a cowboy, it's tie strings on your table, long summer days, cold winter nights, calves in the mudroom. His hound dogs are barking and chasing your chickens. If I can give some advice to keep the marriage alive, cowboys are like hound dogs. Sometimes you gotta beat them with a broom. And it's always coffee in the morning, 3 maybe 4, and then he's out your door. Cinches his coat in the yard, ran into my car, then he's gone like the wind. It's a hell of a life, and I don't say that lie, and the joy in his eyes, oh what a prize.
Awesome. I love it, man. And then she did bust in with some harmony back up singing. Yeah, it's amazing.
I'm genuinely surprised.
You felt it, you felt it, didn't you, girl? Yeah. She's like, I can't let him get all the shine. It does.
My gosh.
Yeah. She was over there starry-eyed. Seen a little tear in her eye. She's like, I got to chime in with my man. He wrote this for me.
That's right.
Yeah. No, that's a great song. I love that, man. That's an original.
And that's, that's Maddie Stansfield, I believe is how you say her name. She's on TikTok too, guys.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Cool. Check it out. So, again, mention y'all's stuff so people can follow you, you know. So,
mine's That Rancher Ryan on TikTok. Or RYNBU310 is a username if it doesn't pull up from That Rancher Ryan. Cheyenne's is Cheyenne Grace 0712.
Yep.
We're both on Facebook, Ryan Burl and Grace Brown.
Grace Brown, not Cheyenne Brown, but Grace Brown. So, guys, did we not cover anything? I mean, is there anything we need to bring up before you leave here that you want to tell people?
I can't think of
special
anything.
Message? If you
I know we've replaced brakes on that truck like twice this year already, and it's only May, so pray for my brakes.
And pray for your brakes. Yeah.
Other than that, though, I think
life is good.
It
It sounds like y'all have an amazing time. Yep. Like working, you're young, you're getting to live this.
It's super duper busy. We get probably on average 2 to 4 hours of sleep.
Oh yeah, you can't keep running on that. So drink a lot of coffee. Is it cowboy coffee, by the way? Do you know what it is?
She drinks coffee. I don't drink coffee at all, but there's a drink called Ranch Fuel out right now, and so it's a clean energy drink. It's only got like 5 or 6 ingredients, no jitters, no crash. So
cool.
Shout out to Ranch Fuel.
Yeah, no doubt.
Sponsor me if you're watching this.
Yeah, or me. Either one of us. Like, we'd be happy to have you.
Right.
We'll coexist together. No, I'm joking.
Welcome to the family.
That's right. Welcome to the family. All right, man. Look, I loved having you guys in today. This has been a cool little fun episode. I love the story you have. You've got a bright future. Lots of cool things going on. I look forward to the growth and being friends from now.
Appreciate it.
You know what? Y'all were both now local yokels. Yeah, for sure.
That.
All right, man. Well, thanks, guys.
The sound of it.
All right. Well, guys, remember, always support your local businesses, charities, nonprofits. If your friend's selling it, try to buy it, even though it may not be the best, but I mean, just give it a shot. Support your friends, your family, people in the community. Shop local, stay local. It just all somehow comes back to us, our kids in the community, schools, whatever. It's just the way things work. So I think it's called the Pilgrims something. One of my guests was telling me it passes through, turns over 16 times in the community when you do that.
Yeah.
So, so just remember that. And also remember my group, Feed My Lambs. And that's what I kind of put most of my efforts towards, where we feed the kids on the weekends, backpack meals starting on Fridays. It's an essential program in our community at Walls and Lake Conway Elementary. If you would like to get in contact with them, I would love to give you the information. You can always reach them at 662-781-1333 and then minormemorial.org/lambs. And I look forward to seeing you guys on the next show. Thanks. Bye.